Hello and welcome to Mabinda TV. This is home of compassionate conservatism, where we advocate for a fine balance between individual creative genius excellence as afforded by capitalism and society excellence as afforded by equality of opportunity. So in essence, we are calling for capitalism with our human first, that is capitalism with our human first. So this is a three-part segment. So I'll be looking at America, remaking America, ideas, then a Bible study or heart and soul. So in remaking America, is America exceptionalism dead? Is America exceptionalism dead? That is the idea that America is always on top. Is it dead? Of course, you have, I think now TikTok is the most downloaded app, surpassing Google as the worst most visited domain. So is America exceptionalism dead? And I think China is ranking up on the number of billionaires. It is soon going to be overtaking the United States in the number of billionaires. Not that the billionaires really determine anything, the state of a country. And for one, I don't think billionaires determine the state of a country. But for one, this was a domain of America, but now China is going to overtake America in so many respects. Look at American democracy. It is wobbling. The bureaucracy is wobbling. Bureaucracy. Look at the state of bureaucracy in America. There is more bureaucracy in America, and I think the American democracy, maybe dictators like Putin or Chinese communist leaders, Xi Jinping, look at China, look at the United States democracy and say, is this a kind of democracy you people want for us? Then they say to hell with that system. So I think for American democracy then it is wobbling, and I think look at China and India. China and India were at the same level of development in the 1990s, but then China pressed ahead because of communism, because decisions were fast-tracked, but then India chose democracy. It is in fact, the world's largest democracy, but decisions were fast-tracked, but then decisions were delayed, bureaucracy set in, and then India just lost a couple of growth points, and I think in that case, then America has to do more. It has to streamline its democracy. America has to be that country that really streamlines its democracy and becomes democracy once again works for their people. Look at the disappearing middle class in America. Very soon, if America is not careful, it will soon be like third world countries in which there are only two classes. Either you are a billionaire or a pauper, nothing in between. And I think if America becomes like that, then it will become like third world countries or in Middle East or Latin America or in Africa, where now you will have a underclass, a sea of poverty, and a billionaire class, especially with the coming of the robotics age. I think so many jobs will be eliminated, and I think this has to do with America losing its exceptionalism. And I think innovation, look at innovation, it is now Germany that is the leader of innovation, while I think it is Germany that is the leader of innovation, and I think the United States, even with all these big research companies such as Google, Microsoft, Amazon, I don't think America matches Germany in terms of innovation. Of course, as raised by the Zambian American economist, Dr. Dambisa Moore. So I think America has lost its edge. It needs to go back to the drawing board on how it can return to the winning ways, and in that sense then it can regain its number one spot in the world. Otherwise the world will now be multipolar, where there will be so many powers. Maybe you'll have the United States in one corner, China, Russia, European Union on the other corner, and maybe emerging Africa on the other corner. So that's it in the making America. And then in ideas, I'm asking, can a company have the resources of a multinational but yet have the speed and agility of a startup? That is, can a company have the resources of a multinational but yet have the speed and agility of a startup? So I look at Nokia and Motorola. They were the market leaders in feature phones, but they did not transition to be the market leaders in smartphones. That was taken up by the likes of Samsung and Huawei. Of course, then you have IBM being the market leader in hardware computers, but not being not being fast enough to be the market leader in personal computing software. That was taken up by Microsoft, and then Microsoft itself being the market leader in personal computing software, but not being transitioning to be the market leader in not transitioning to be the market leader in internet search, and then Google being the market leader in internet search and not transitioning to be the market leader in not transitioning to be the market leader in social media, killing its social media app, that is Google Plus, and then and then now social media companies will be the market leaders in social media, such as Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok. They will be the market leaders in social media, but will they transition to be the market leaders in 3D augmented reality? So you can see, some say the golden age of social media is already with us. People just volunteering free information to these content farms they say this is the golden age of social media is now behind us, and people will need to be paid in order to do that. So that has been ideas for now. I have been looking at whether a company can have the resources of a multinational but yet have the speed and agility of a startup. Then in Bible study, why do the less qualified succeed? In heart and soul, why do the less qualified succeed? For instance, I will ask, where did the two gods that used to practice with Rihanna go to? Where did those two gods go to? Of course, we only hear about Rihanna. Where did they go to? And maybe they were the ones who were urging Rihanna to be able to, and they were the ones who were urging Rihanna to be able to wake up and go and perform. You find maybe someone goes with all the stories of the famous people are the same. Why is it that the stories of the famous people are all the same? That is, my friend asked me to go and line up. My friend asked me to go and line up for this audition, and then I ended up being taken. So why is it that the stories of all the famous people are the same? Why are the children of Jacob, the second born? This is what I call the second born, people who were shown things. Why did they end up succeeding? Look at the story of Bill Gates. He was not the one who invented the operating system. It was invented by Dr. George, but then Bill Gates bought it and really just converted it into another software. Look at the story of Mark Zuckerberg. He was not the first. Look at the story of Elon Musk. He was not the first to start Tesla. Look at the story of all these people, and I think maybe that is the question. Someone tells you, let's go and apply to Harvard. Then you end up being taken. The originator of the idea ends up being rejected. So I think maybe that's the question we need to be asking. Why do the less qualified succeed? What I would call the children of Jacob, why do they succeed? Is it about stealing of destinies? Some will call it witchcraft. Some will say stealing of destinies, that the devil is afraid. The devil is afraid of the pure amongst us. The purest amongst us are put down. The purest amongst us are put down so that you can't have these people. You can't have the poorest amongst us are put down, so you can't have these people that basically the poorest amongst us are put down, so that you can't have these people that basically don't have that much of a talent being given the leeway, being given the red carpet, and then of course they know they cheated their way to fame, they cheated their way to success, and then they have to offer all these sacrifices so that they can't remain at the top. And of course some people say, people like Beyonce and Jay-Z, that they were not the first to be. They were not the first to be. That is, the Beyonce and Jay-Z were not the first to be the market. They are not the most talented. But why is it that they? Why is it that they sit at the top? They sacrifice people, and I don't think that is good at all. So this. And maybe when the purest among us lead this world, then basically the higher angels will ensure that this world becomes heaven. This world has to be heaven, and I think I think Saturn Soul is poor. I think it is poor. If you have been to Kenya, then Saturn Soul is a place like Kibera. That's what I think. I think Saturn Soul is a place like Kibera, and I think this is why we think. This is why I think we need to be able to figure it out. Why is it that the poorest among us, the less qualified among us, succeed? So this has been Mabinda TV for now. This is home of Providence Conservatism, where we have a fine balance between individual creative genius excellence as supported by capitalism and society excellence as supported by equality of opportunity. So in essence, we call for capitalism with a human face, that is capitalism with a human face. So, what